so they all max out in terms of response factors and get a great return on investment. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Prab. Prab, come on up.
Thanks everyone, and it's good to see a lot of smiling faces. Thanks to Newsquest, I've been presenting these seminars since last week, and sometimes when I look at the audience, I see too many grumpy faces before I've said a word, so I can see lots of lovely smiles. Maybe it's a lovely coffee or tea, maybe somebody tried our lovely cupcakes, I don't know what it is, but keep it up people, because you know, in terms of digital marketing, content marketing, social media marketing, you have to think about the audience, and you have to have a very compelling proposition. So, my name is Prab Chadha, I'm the Managing Director of Digital Maverick Limited, and I go around the UK presenting a lot of events. I work businesses, small, medium, large, consulting, training, mentoring, and coaching. So any given day, you might find me at an event like this. The other day I was presenting to an audience of 500. I presented to an audience of several thousand, in fact, in my 10 years in digital marketing. Now, every day when I work with businesses, when I first look at the business and look in terms of digital marketing, there's certain things keep on popping up. And one of the big things is the lack of a digital marketing strategy. So, I'm going to be talking about 30 minutes today about how vital it is to have a digital marketing strategy, and also, once you build the best strategy, is make sure the other 50%, the execution, is the best it can be. Let's have a straw poll here. How many people would consider in this room that they have a digital marketing strategy? Yes? A couple of you, okay? So the rest of you, and you sir, and you ma'am, hopefully there's something for all of you today. Because there was a research recently in the UK marketplace, and you know, in the world currently, which are in 2017, there's over 1.2 billion websites. 1.2 billion websites. So your websites are in that huge ocean. And out of those people who have websites or businesses, how many said that they have a very good, coherent marketing, digital marketing strategy? About 50%. So another way to look at this is, the people who said, yes, Prab, I have a digital marketing strategy, where would you rank your digital marketing strategy? Would it be kind of caveman days, represented by my lovely little monkey here, or ape? Or would you think that you're someone else in this line, all the way up to optimized? Now, when I work business every day, whether it's startups or large businesses, it's very interesting that I can't really find a business consistently that's ranked 5 out of 5. Occasionally I find some businesses, some global giants, and I think, whoa, I like some of your campaigns. For a period of few months, they're very consistent and tick all the boxes, but then after a while, the consistency goes down. Let's look at this even another different way. Apologies if you sit in the back, but there are plenty of chairs at the front, so you're more than welcome to come to the front. And also, I must say, all of you have smartphones. There's no reason why you won't be taking the pictures of my slides. I strongly suggest take pictures of my slides, review them later on, because I'm not going to give them to you today. So why not take pictures, you can review them, post them on social media, and you can also pass them to your colleagues, right? And share this kind of content. If you look at this area, I know that some words are cut off at the top because it's TV and very set. I want you to aim for excellence, digital marketing excellence. And as I said, if you're ranked between 1 and 5, the rankings, I put them in these kind of columns. So if you're in the initial column, if you see here, you're a business that has no digital marketing strategy. You know, if you have a digital marketing strategy or you don't, think about how much money have you made with online marketing. Do you know how much money you made, how many leads, how many inquiries, how many customers you actually gained? Because a lot of businesses, they don't have KPI set, key performance indicators. In a nutshell, do you set a target? So when you start tweeting, when you start posting on Facebook, when you start email marketing, when you kind of start video marketing, no matter what digital asset you use, do you ever say that by me doing this, or for my organization do this, by the end of week 1, month 1, quarter 1, how much business you want to generate? A lot of businesses don't have this. Then if you carry on these columns, you'll notice other areas that they might go from 1 to 2 to 3. And at 3 then, they're thinking about actually having a digital marketing dashboard. If I said to you that you have multiple digital channels, but those digital channels, how do you actually monitor them regularly? How do you monitor them? Do you keep on logging into various platforms and look at analytics? Or have you been very clever to have streams of data coming into one spreadsheet perhaps, or using a third-party kind of application that brings this data so you can see clearly where the traffic's coming from and how the traffic is converting? And it'd be fantastic if all of you can go to level 5. Because level 5, you're very slick in digital marketing, right? And you're head and shoulders above your competition. You know, if I spoke to your competitors, a lot of them, and I said to them, do you know what, you missed a 30-minute seminar today on building the world's best digital marketing strategy, I think they'd be sick as a parrot that they weren't here. And my job with Yesin after me is to convince you that you're in the right place at the right time, and there's a fantastic window of opportunity today to actually learn some really good techniques. There are multiple digital marketing frameworks around the world, multiple ones which I've used in my decade in digital marketing. But this is one of the ones which I really like because it's so easy to understand. It was created probably about a decade ago by Dave Chaffrey. And he's a very good commentator and specialist in digital marketing worldwide. So he actually goes around the world and he consults with the Fortune 500, right? So he's of that ilk. So when I came across his material many years ago and I looked at this, it's called the RACE kind of theory, or the RACE integrated digital marketing framework. And it's quite easy to understand, but I'll go through it systematically. So in this diagram, what I'm trying to illustrate is first you have to have a plan. And in the plan, you've got to think about your vision, your objectives. You have a business plan, yes? So in your business plan, you discuss with yourself, if it's just you in the business, or you discuss with your team, right, what do you want to achieve in our business the next year, the next 3 years, the next 5 years? And what I'm saying is, in terms of your digital marketing plan, there has to be a holistic strategy. Your online, your offline, your marketing, your communications, your PR, they all have to be part of this holistic strategy. And initially, if you look at this era, is in terms of the kind of the vision, objectives, defining kind of your segment, your target audience, and from there then the reach. How are you going to reach your ideal demographic? Are you going to be using kind of organic posts in terms of social media? Will you be actually having paid campaigns on social media? Will you be running a search engine optimization campaign, display advertising? There's so many different options for you. Then think about the act phase. You have a website and you sit in this room. I don't think anyone will stand up and raise a hand if I say, is your website the best website in the world? Would you? I'll be astonished, right? I posted something on LinkedIn, funny enough, this morning, and I posted this caption. Hopefully someone will connect with me on LinkedIn. And on LinkedIn, I posted this message this morning, and it said, these are 16 of the world's top companies. Have a look at their websites when they first had a website. You'll be horrified. So some of the companies I posted on there was Amazon. The Amazon website, when it was first built, looked like a 5-year-old child built it. The Netflix website, the same as well. Why am I making this point? I don't care if you sit in this room and you had your website built yesterday, or you had it built 10 years ago. You must keep on reviewing this website. It's key. You must not be kind of this false situation that, oh, I have a bricks and mortar business, and you keep on making sure it's nice and clean and tidy. You change the displays in the window when people walk in. But what about your online window, right? If your online window does not change regularly, the people outside think your business is perhaps dying, is stagnating, and not thriving. So think about digital marketing and think about all the various techniques that you can exhibit to show the world out there you are a thriving business. Hopefully after this 30-minute presentation, you think, perhaps you had something of interest to say. And also the way you put it, you actually inspired us. Yes, you did, and educate us. My thing with kind of digital marketing is you have to educate the audience in terms of your content marketing. But you also have to be inspirational to bring the audience in. And once you bring them in, how do you keep them to make kind of really loyal customers? You've got to look at the other areas in terms of conversion. So when I went to business and said, I have this website, I'll spend £10,000 on it. I've made no return on this website. So then I do a full audit and break the website down in constituent parts. And I tell them what it is, that you have a lot of flaws in your website. Flaws in terms of how you're found on Google. Flaws that when you're found, the customer journey on your website is so poor that when they land on your homepage, they want to walk away. So you've got to think about various attributes of your digital marketing in that sense. And think about once the conversion and engaging continually. And once you've actually got this customer, is how do you keep the customer and the customer service. We live in a world now of chatbots. So when I talked the other day about trends, now, the next 5 years in digital marketing, chatbots are going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And good news for you is, when Yestin talks after me, something he's going to mention is related to chatbots and the kind of the power chatbots. Brad, what is a chatbot? Someone might be thinking. Okay, so you go on a website, and sometimes on the bottom right corner, a message pops up. Hi there, can I help you? That's a chatbot. So, when they first came on the scene, you had kind of static chatbots, right? The static ones are there, they sit there all day, every day, and you have to go yourself and click there. Then you have dynamic ones, where literally there's a human being following your journey page by page on your website and keep on giving you a poke. And now what's happening is you have robots. Chatbots are robots that pre-program with algorithm that say that if you mention, I mention certain keywords, it automatically answers the question. If it can't answer the question, they'll say, sir, ma'am, can I have your mobile phone number, your details, etc., and I'll get a colleague to come back to you. But that's actually a robot. But the beauty of this is that if you didn't have that in place, how much traffic are you getting to the website and how much is disappearing without engagement? It would be criminal today if you came here to this presentation and none of us spoke to you. When you arrived, good morning, sir, good morning, ma'am, would you like a tea and coffee? Would you like a beautiful cupcake? Right? And when I finish the presentation, then Yestin comes on. It'd be criminal if after that, none of us came and approached you. What do you think? Here's my pen. Are you going to sign right this minute? Otherwise, I'm going to unlock that door for you. I'm jesting. We're not going to be that bad today. But you know what I'm trying to say is, over a period of time, offline, we understand how to grab audiences, how to convert them into customers. Think about how you do that in online marketing. I love sales funnels, marketing funnels. Hopefully some of you share that passion of mine. Also Venn diagrams, but that's coming later. If you look at a sales funnel, all right, and you look at a sales funnel in terms of your business, whatever business you're here, you know all the various things you're doing in terms of marketing to drive as much as traffic. Now, unfortunately, a lot of traffic are window shoppers, are tie kickers. So your ultimate aim is to drive as much as good traffic on the top of this funnel. Because you and I know that every stage of this funnel, they're dropping out for whatever reason. They're dropping out because this product or service is not right for them. They're dropping out because your price is too high. They're dropping out because they don't like the salesman or woman. They're dropping out because when they called you, nobody picked up their phone. There's so many reasons. The beautiful thing about digital marketing is that you can have something at each of these stages to keep this audience still wanting to more from you. You know, when I started in sales at the age of 16, I realized quite quickly that if I want to convert some random stranger to be a customer, it'll take ultimately 7 times to poke at them. 7 touches. Back in the day, yes, I am that old, we used to use a telephone. Remember the telephone? Yeah, the telephone. It was not digital marketing then. So they hear a call from me. Back in the day, there's something called a radio. You remember the radio? AM, yes, and FM, before DAB came. And they were listening to a radio ad. Back in the day, there's something called a newspaper, funny enough. And we speak of the newspaper. So they might hear Prav on the phone. They might actually hear Prav in a radio commercial. They might hear about Prav when they're reading up their tabloid newspaper broadsheet. 7 pokes touches. Now in digital marketing, it's amazing. They see a tweet of mine, they see a LinkedIn posting of mine, they get an email, Prav, come and see me. There's something of value. Because what I'm doing is I'm drip, drip, drip feeding content to them like when you have a tap and you don't completely turn the tap off and it just keeps on dripping a little bit. So I keep on dripping kind of say an ebook, a podcast, a video. I might kind of drip feeding like a picture and presenting an event like this. So I'm building my credibility up and they're getting to think, wow, I've never heard of this geezer called Prav, but he seems to be everywhere, right? Everywhere we go, they're talking about him. And that's what the power of digital marketing is. that you can fast track the sales funnel and you can get success much quicker. So here, if you look at this, you've got the exploration phase, decision making, purchase, and advocacy. You have to break your digital marketing strategy like this, in these segments and chunks. And you have to make sure that you fine tune each of these to have maximum success. To make it even easier for you today, I'm going to break these down for you even further. So, in terms of the planning phase, some points to think about, right? I'm going to mention this several times, and it's very important. You have to have an integrated digital strategy. Integrated digital strategy, integrated sales strategy, integrated marketing strategy, everything has to be integrated, so when you have brand ambassadors for your business going out there, everyone knows what they're saying. When you have brand ambassadors typing things, emails to potential customers, current customers, they all know what the roadmap for future growth is. You have to be very careful on this, right? The more you focus on this roadmap for success and the long term, sometimes in digital marketing, you get kind of short-term wins. You will, especially in kind of B2C context. But in terms of B2B and in wider context, you're there for the long kind of run, right? And you've got to think about in terms of future growth. You've got to think about also creating the best online value propositions, developing the right content for the audience. If the audience does not like your content for whatever reason, jump on this and tweak it. I see too many businesses that they keep on posting the same content. There's no engagement. You look down at Twitter, their Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, right? You look at the email marketing campaigns, and there's no interest. Why do you keep on posting the same content? Try to be refreshing. Try to be dynamic. Improving reach. Again, so in terms of improving reach, there's so many options you have to increase your visibility. You've got options in terms of kind of working on the organic search, but also in terms of paid search. There's options for you to rank #1 on page 1 of Google. You know, when I look at businesses and I say to them, if I help you in search engine optimization, do you realize from being nowhere in Google, the top 1,000 pages, if I bring you from page 1,000 to page 1, you will see the spike in your business. And then from page 1, rank 10 to 9 to 8 to 7 to #1. I can do that for you. But you know, when I do this kind of audit for business, and I say to them quite honestly, you're in a very competitive environment. Your competition has started the SEO journey well before you. And I say to them, you need to do something in the interim to actually ignite your business, to make your business viable. So I run a Google AdWords campaign, and they're Google within minutes on page 1, ranked 1. And then in the background, I work on the SEO. But you've got to think about what is very important for you. Do you want results just for today, just for tomorrow, or do you want to build a long-term strategy? You have so many options: AdWords, social media, affiliate marketing, display marketing. So Newsquest has various packages in terms of display marketing. Various packages, and it's very, I find it astonishing that a lot of businesses in certain sectors, they've never actually invested in display advertising. Never have. Later on I'll bring a slide which will show you several digital media types, and I'll be very surprised if any of you can say hand on heart that all of those things you tried in your business in the lifetime of your business. You must be open-minded, and you must try new ideas, and you must pilot new ideas and marketing campaigns online and offline. You want to be ahead of the competition. You've got to do an audit quite quickly, find out, is the competition on social media? Grab it. If the competition is not on Pinterest, and the competition is on Instagram, and you're a product targeting the female audience, why are you not on Pinterest and Instagram when the highest demographic on those two platforms is female, and that demographic, female demographic, has the highest disposable income? The highest disposable income. So these kind of facts, when I sit down with companies, and I break down their business, say, do you realize your competition doesn't do any of these? And you can steal a march, and you can have first mover advantage. Increasing interaction. So again, in this part is what I alluded to earlier, that you must make sure the customer journey is the best it can be. Think about when you had a website built. The web designer or the developer, did they guarantee you and promise you compatibility testing on all devices? So what I mean by that is, does it work on a laptop? Looks beautiful. Does it work on a tablet? Does it work on a mobile? Did it check it on various size screens? 15-inch, 17-inch, 19-inch. Because if you didn't do that, then you and I both know the audience you have in the world, they're looking at different devices. Also, did it check on different browsers? Okay, you have Google, Chrome, which has captured a lot of marketplace, but then you have Internet Explorer, you have Bing, right? You have so many different kind of browsers, and you've got to make sure that you do this. And once you launch your website, in the life of the website, you keep on adding things. So keep on checking every now and then, is this picture still looking good? Is this copy still looking good? Or is it actually fallen off a cliff when you look on a smartphone? So these are very important points. And this area here, you have to, what I say, develop content and tripwires to fuel lead generation. First you have rubbish content, then you have okay content, great content, but you want awesome content, and content that embedded in the content, it provokes people to really think. And when that's the moment of magic, then you capture the data and you put them in the sales funnel. Think about the increasing the conversion, right? So there's something in the industry, I don't know if you've heard, called conversion kind of rate optimization, which is what I said briefly earlier, that if you have a website, how confident are you right this minute that you're converting all your traffic? Out of 100 visitors to an e-commerce website, worldwide, 3 convert. Just 3 out of 100 visitors. So when I work with businesses, I want that 3 to be 4, to be 5, to 6, to 7. Because a lot of the e-commerce businesses, if you have big, huge e-commerce businesses that have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of visitors, right? When you get to that point, you have a big team looking at conversion optimization. But if you're a small business, just turning over a few £100,000, a few £1,000,000, and still a small business, if you can consider it that way as an SME, you've got to think about how can you convert more to have a beautiful impact on your bottom line. And you've got to think about constantly how to get this conversion rate better. How many of you have Google Analytics plugged into your website, can I ask? A couple of you, right? So the people who don't know what Google Analytics is, when you have a website built, you can actually get your web designer developer to put a bit of coding from Google that will tell you where your visitors are coming from, how many visitors, where they're landing. And in that package, you can actually set goal conversions. So for example, you have an e-commerce site, you better put a bit of coding on your checkout page. So when every time it goes to the checkout page, ping 1 conversion. You set a conversion on a business-to-business website, every time somebody fills a contact form, ping your conversion. Because then all the money you're spending are the resource in terms of someone who's your marketing manager, social media manager. You can actually sit down with them and say, do you realize we've had no conversions this month? We've had no conversions 3 months, 6 months. What are you doing? What are you doing? Or if it's just you does everything in business, like I do for my business, okay, luckily I'm a digital marketing specialist, I have to talk to myself, Prab, what are you doing? You only had so many conversions this month and you could have done better. So I keep on tweaking my kind of digital marketing. Engagement. So see, all of this race theory, I'm breaking it down so it's more kind of, oops, tease you with that one. So I'm breaking it down so you can actually understand more fully. Automation. Now automation for some people is a dirty word. I don't think it's that dirty if you know what you're doing. So you use a platform like Hootsuite and Buffer to manage your social media. So when you're too busy in business, you're on holiday, right? You can actually use platforms like Hootsuite and Buffer to pre-program your content. So I want this post to go out on Friday at 11 p.m. on Facebook, on Twitter, LinkedIn. Fantastic. What I'm saying for you there in terms of automation there is don't automate everything. Because when I see businesses where they're using those platforms at $10, $20 a month, or the platforms that cost hundreds and thousands of dollars a month, they become very lazy. The audience walks away because they see a post on Facebook, and within seconds it goes on Twitter. Within seconds it goes on LinkedIn. Exactly the same. No words have been changed, no graphics have been changed. You know, this event here today, if you want to promote this event, it's fine if you want to promote the event and you copy and paste on the platforms. Because each of these platforms, you build communities. Some of these communities overlap, and some of them are quite distinct. If you have an offer, so this weekend, come to my restaurant, 20% discount on your meal. Again, that's fine, copy and paste it. But other than that, try to think about what level of automation is good for your business before people think, this is really same old, same old. one other thing on automation. You can get automation in terms of email marketing packages. Google it, where literally, if I come to your website and I fill in an inquiry form on your website, and you get that contact, you can put me in a funnel, that then on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it'll automatically send me another email. And those emails are templates. You sit down first, either yourself or the consultant, and make a whole bunch of templates. And there's an algorithm. If Prab looks at this part of the email, it does a trigger, and it sends this specific second email. If Prab does this, then this template. And each of these templates, you don't have War and Peace. On there, you have video testimonials. On these templates, you have kind of accreditations on there. You're part of the various networks on there. On here, you have multiple calls to action. You have offers and discounts. So every second they get these, eventually they will bite. Eventually will. They definitely will say, well, you're very very professional, because no other company keeps at me. I'm not saying spamming to death. That's completely different, right? Everyone hates spamming. I'm talking about an intelligent way of actually using email marketing. Think about also social media as amplifying a brand. You know, when was the last time you posted social media and you actually focus on keywords in your social media? SEO in 2017 is different to SEO in 2010, right? 2015. You have to create social media signals. So when you post on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on these social media platforms, Google is indexing. Google is cross-referencing. If you don't believe me, when you go on Google and you search next time, have you ever noticed there's tweets popping up at the top of the page? They're indexing those tweets. So my thing to you is, when you post on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, think about sometimes putting some keywords for your industry in there. Because when I see that, and I share that, and reshare that, and others do, signal, 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 positive signals to Google. This bit of content is actually intelligent content, insightful content, compelling content. I did say I'm going to bring the slide up. So, if you look at this slide in these 6 categories, there's online, there's offline, right? In terms of offline, do you exhibit? Do you use direct mail? There's attributes here which Newsquest provides services in display advertising, in terms of kind of traditional advertising or digital advertising. There's so many elements there. Can anyone say to me, hand on heart, that they do all of these all the time, or have done all these all the time? And they could say to me that there's success and fail in all of these. I really find this when I speak to whether there's a business going 5 years, or whether the business is going 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Because when I put this diagram in front of them, I say, you have a world of opportunity here to actually grow your business, drive your business forward. But you're being very insular currently in your marketing. You only actually tap into 1 or 2 channels. Widen your horizon and try new channels and see what happens. No one can make you a promise or guarantee that all of these work for your business. No one can. But what we all ask, if you want to grow your business, is try all of these and see which 2, 3, 4, or 5 are the best for your business, and scale that investment up then. That's what you need to think about. In terms of content distribution also, if you look at this, and people at the back can't read this, at the bottom I have effectiveness, potential lead or sales volume. On the left I have investment, resources needed, ROI decreasing. There's 4 quarters. It's quite self-explanatory. So if you're currently looking at your marketing and business, and you're thinking about, for example, high volume, high ROI, there's various examples here: blog marketing, organic reach. And then if you're sitting here and you're thinking about kind of low volume in terms of content, but a higher ROI, Instagram, sponsored tweets. So there's a blend of organic and there's a blend of paid. Another way to look at this is, how many digital assets do you generate? Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. And when you present these and when you produce these, they should be in these 4 areas: entertaining the audience, inspiring the audience, educating the audience, and convincing the audience. So if you look at, for example, entertaining, are you running enough competitions, quizzes, games, if you're in that kind of business and can do that? Are you in the inspiring kind of zone, being found multiple times in various forums? Are you using forums cleverly? Customer reviews. It's all very well that you and I say we're the best there is, but we need independent testimonials, independent reviews. So when people go on your website, you have a widget, let's say Trustpilot or FIFO. When they go on Google and they have Google reviews. When you go to TripAdvisor reviews. Now, Yesterday's going to talk about this later, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But there's multiple digital assets. And how many of these digital assets are you currently producing? If you're not producing all of these, think about what you're missing out on. Because these digital assets entice people like me, Joe Blogs on the street, to keep on stepping forward, to the point I pick up the phone, I walk into your business, I want to meet you, call you to pitch to me. A couple of last slides. So in terms of your digital marketing strategy, think of a few things as a recap to get amazing results. Have your goals and objectives clear. You know, this is not rocket science, it's common sense. How many times you probably heard in business from various consultants, what's your goals, what's your objectives? I'm just saying to you, have this clear for your digital marketing strategy. Think about this area. Do you, all of you, right this minute, have a very up-to-date document called the buyer persona? So what I mean by that is, whether you've been training for 5 minutes or 50 years, surely you understand what is your typical customer, what do they look like, where do they live, right? What their interests, what their behaviors are. So that is one document, a buyer persona. You must have that document to hand for all your marketing, because otherwise your marketing is not going to have the best conversion because it's going to be very fluffy. That document is priceless. And that document has to be keep on reevaluated compared to what's happening in the world. There's so many breaking news items all the time in the world, and you can jump on these trends. It'd be great when I meet a business and I say to them, can you tell me what your buyer persona is? Atypical, your buyer persona. Like an elevator pitch with less than 30 seconds. Never happens. They always say, Prav, what is a buyer persona? What do you mean? It's like, for example, I say, do you have a content marketing plan? Prav, what is that? They understand what a marketing plan is. They don't know what a content marketing plan is. Do you have a social media plan for every channel? No. You should have a plan for marketing for minimum 12 months. You should have a plan for digital marketing minimum 12 months. You should have a plan for social media marketing for 12 months. Because otherwise, you're burning your opportunities. Your competition who has these plans, they are progressing far quicker than you. The channels and the tactics. Today I'm talking about various channels. I don't expect any of you to go within 24 hours and launch all these channels. That just does not make sense, because firstly, you haven't got the resource, you haven't got the budget, right? You haven't got the passion and the interest. You might be a business here that you have a marketing team, sizable enough to actually, for various people to start doing this. You might be here sitting in this room and you have to outsource, so you've got to find the right specialist to do this. You've got to think about monitoring the results. You've got to think very carefully about return on investment. Because when I speak to businesses, they say, perhaps I would spend tens and tens of thousands on SEO, and I'm still on page 10. And I say, look, let me do an audit, and I'm finding out that whoever's done this for a number of years has been just doing link building, right? And also irrelevant links, and they just abused their kindness, right? And there's so many things like that. It's like when I do a digital marketing audit, and I find businesses, they're doing a lot of things, investing a lot of money, but they're not doing the right things. And I just have to tell them to tweak certain things to actually quite quickly get better results. And I tell them you have to have a dashboard, right? To measure your results, to analyze your results, and you must sit down with your team and review these. A conference call, a face-to-face, whatever. You have to all be clued up and have buy-in. You've got to research all the time. The market changes so quickly, right? So if you go on Twitter, you notice on Twitter on the left-hand side, there's a trend. Words that have been talked about, subjects regularly, is trending. The same with Facebook on the top right-hand corner, right? So if you see things are trending, positive, negative, think about jumping on trends. So when I run masterclasses on, for example, Twitter, I talk about a lot about trend jacking, hash jacking, the power of using hashtags. Hopefully you'll join me on a journey, some of those other seminars and workshops to learn more about that. So the budget resources are very important in this. You know, I hear a lot of times they say, Prav, I can't do what he's just said because I haven't got the money. And I say, what do you mean you haven't got the money? You haven't sat down and thought about it. So you're posting on Facebook, and you notice on Facebook you have only 500 likes. And when you post on Facebook, when I present a Facebook masterclass, I show a diagram. There's 100,000 parameters that Facebook applies currently to actually rank your posts. So only less than 3% of your organic posts are seen by your 500 likes, 5,000 likes. So where's the harm on just putting a £1 boost every time you post, because you're increasing this radius. Facebook has a dozen, 15, 20 different ad campaigns. But when I speak to businesses, oh, Prab, yeah, we boost. I always keep saying we boost. That's what you do, just keep on boosting. There's so many campaigns. For example, Facebook has a campaign where you can put a campaign on Facebook and there's a lead capture. That I have to fill the lead capture and you get an inquiry come straight to you. Prab, we didn't know that was the case. Well, that's the same case on Twitter, on multiple platforms. But you have to investigate this, and if you don't have the passion and interest, then find the right specialist to help you. It's as simple as that. Now, the content, as everyone says, is king. The content is king. The content is king online. The content is king whenever you see content, whether it comes out my gob today, and you think, actually, it speaks sense. I'm not going to be like this, right? Really defensive. I'm actually really chill and listen to Prab. It's the same any way you look at it. The real good content grabs you. So we live in a world where too many people sometimes, they go one way and they just focus on pictures and video. Too much one way. And what I mean by that is they forget about the power of copy, right? You've got to make sure there's a right mix. The copy you'll never get away from. Really intelligent, nice spelling, nice grammar, nice big captions, right? In an email marketing campaign, on a website, always grabs the audience and keeps the audience in there. But yeah, we don't live in the world of Shakespeare now anymore, so we just don't want War and Peace. Then you have nicely positioned pictures and videos to go with it to drive the conversion rate higher. Other things that people say to me, businesses, Prab, we get stuck. You're a specialist, you know what to say when you present. You know what to say online. But we're not specialists. So I say there are multiple golden rules for digital marketing. And one very simple one is the power of a third, and a third. Which means, exactly what you say is there, however, I'm going to put it another way for you finally. You know, it's very sad that in 2017, there's businesses spending hundreds of pounds and billions of dollars on digital marketing, but they still don't understand the power of empathy, empathizing audience, but a lot of things I said today in terms of the right content marketing and other kind of attributes, but also they don't understand the power of thought leadership. You're all, my friends, thought leaders. Thought leadership is just a big concept, right? A big expression in a sense to say you must have 30, 40, 50 years experience. Otherwise, you know nothing. That's rubbish, right? All of you sitting in this room, right? You know things that I don't know. I'll probably never even know. It's just like I'm telling you a snapshot of my life in digital marketing in 30 minutes. We're all thought leaders. You have to understand how to exhibit this thought leadership to bring the right people to your business, to grow your business. So, in this Venn diagram, you'll be posting in all your digital assets about your product and services. Cool, I get that. You want to actually educate the audience in terms of the product and services. You're building community. Remember, when you start on social media, for example, or an email marketing database, there's no one there. It's empty. They're all empty. You have no friends. So the world thinks that you're rubbish, right? Because your Facebook has no following, your Twitter has no following, your Instagram has no following, right? Your website has no visitors. So first what you do is think about, right, I need to bring some momentum here to show the world that I am loved, right? So whether that love means 10 Facebook likes or 1,000, Instagram does mean 5 or 1 million. But after a few months, that vanity of yours will diminish, because then you'll look at your bank balance. How much do I spend on social media marketing, content marketing, digital marketing, and I've got zip, 0, right? And then the sanity kicks in. So think about this. We all go these phases in business, but think about engagement, think about conversion. It's all very well having KPIs that say that how many retweets have I today, how many follows have I today, but let's think far more scientifically and think about things like how many comments and replies have I had, how many inquiries have I had, how many private direct messages have I had on LinkedIn and Twitter to actually say, I like what you're saying, come and meet with me, come and pitch me, things like that. Not just kind of the fluffy stuff. I only talk about fluffy stuff when I talk about fluffy personal Facebook, fluffy personal Twitter. But when I give these kind of talks to businesses, it's all about getting something from there. you have to also curate relevant content, insightful content for your industry. So the person here, the prospect, that you want to convert all the way in the sales funnel to a client and then keep the client, at all these stages, yes, you're educating them about your product and service, but think about what's happening in the industry that you can give that knowledge to them as well. And then the final piece of the jigsaw, which unfortunately causes a lot of grumpiness by businesses digital marketing, is this area they're very bad at. If you don't believe me, whether you look at your phones now or when you leave this and go back to your homes and offices, go down social media, how many times do you see a business ask a question? Do you like my product or service? I'm thinking of launching another product, right? What do you think of this? Right? I don't see businesses asking enough questions from potential customers, their current customers. It is just, look at me, look how great I am, and it's a one-way communication. Think about social media, think about being social, think about talking. Imagine if I stood next to you right this minute and I said, hello sir, how are you? And the next half an hour I just spoke at you and I didn't give a chance for you to come back. It's really bad, right? That's really bad for several reasons. Disrespectful, also how are we going to communicate to human beings? How does a business communicate online if they don't have this two-way dialogue? If you can be a creator, a contributor, and a networker, in all these 3 years, you will be my gold star. There are not many gold stars worldwide. If there are, they're only for a short period of time, short spurts, right? I would love to see a business who consistently is a gold star in these 3 areas. If you are, you're magic. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your patience.